Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About. This is me, Amin.
And this is Alex.
And on today's episode, we're going to talk about anti-vaxxers. It's a hot topic, especially now. I mean, they've been around in the periphery way before when the pandemic happened. It has been a movement where people believe that, vaccines are dangerous or they have like a different lifestyle. They want to go purely organic or all natural or whatever it is. But today, things are different, right? So because of COVID-19, vaccine, I would say, is critical, or it's almost something that you must have to protect yourself from the virus. I guess some people would argue that, okay, you can build your natural resistance, and back when the plague was around and the Spanish flu was around, vaccines weren't created, but people still survive. Yes, at what cost, right? So technology is supposed to help people. The definition of technology is something that is man-made that can make life easier for people. Vaccine is a technology and it can make life easier for people. The question is now, why are there still people who believe that vaccines are bad, or is a small part of a bigger conspiracy? That's one. And in Malaysia, the way that the officials, like our health minister, KJ, Khairy Jamaluddin, and our Prime Minister, Sabri Yaakob, the way they are engaging or the way they are commenting about anti-vaxxers the right way to engage these people? And is it going to make the situation worse or better? Especially in a time where being vaccinated is important not just for you as an individual, but for you, like it's like doing your part for the country.
For the benefit of the whole society,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. So, okay. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, so I think this whole episode is all about, KJ making the statements. I think during the weekend, today is the 21st of October. So on the weekend, he said that, we're going to make life very difficult for anti-vaxxers.
Yep.
So everyone, I think most of the media outlets are writing that, life is going to be difficult for anti-vaxxers.
Yep.
We're coming after you and all that.
Yep.
If you want to come back to the office, you have to be vaccinated. Dan pendekatan kita juga adalah to make life very difficult for you if you're not vaccinated.
But what he actually said was that, in the spirit of reopening safely, of course, we need to vaccinate as many people as possible. Because previously, I think the goal was to vaccinate 70% of the population to achieve herd immunity. And I think the previous goal was to, let's get rid of COVID, bring it down to 0 cases.
Let's like eradicate COVID altogether, right?
So that was the original plan.
Yep.
But looking at the situation and looking at the current Delta variant, it's going to be impossible. Even New Zealand, which has been maintaining a record of 0 cases, they gave up on that goal. They said, we can't target 0 cases. We got to live with it. So I think the whole world right now, the stance is to treat this as an endemic. It's going to be happening all around us. So we can't get rid of it. But what we can do is we can manage the situation by, reducing the severity, controlling the outbreak, and live with it.
Yep.
So one way is through vaccination. So eventually the question will be, when will we get COVID? Because it looks like it's going to be inevitable that we're going to get COVID. But when that happens, we're well prepared. Our immune response is supposed to kick in, and it's going to be like a minor flu.
Yep.
Because like right now, we see right now as more than 70% of the population vaccinated. I think 95% or 98% of cases are like category 1 and 2. Basically, you have no symptoms or very little symptoms at all. So that's how we're trying to treat the COVID situation.
Yeah. So I want to come back to the article that you mentioned, right? So it was reported on News Straits Times. There was a video. I think KJ was giving like a statement in a press conference, and he did say, "We will make life difficult for you," quote. And the thing, I think we talked about this in a lot of our previous episodes. The thing that annoys me, and I don't think whether people who are writing this article, they understand, or even the editors, they understand what is the impact that this will make to people. It polarizes people, right? If you are sitting in the... Okay, we're going to talk about anti-vaxxers, and I think Alex is going to elaborate on vaccine hesitancy, right? So if we're going to talk about anti-vaxxers and you want to solve that problem, I mean, acknowledging it as a problem is a problem, because people who believe in it really believe in it. And it's simple for us to go out and say, these people are so dumb. Why can't they not see? But let's say if I'm an anti-vaxxer, right? I am not me. Somebody who is an anti-vaxxer, that person is willing to put his or her life, their life, on the line and the lives of their children on the line. That is conviction. That is such a strong belief that this is wrong. And it's not logic, it's not science, and it's not fact. And to go out and say that, okay, I'm not blaming the minister for doing this, but to go out and insinuate, right, and allow papers to go out and say we will make life difficult just creates a bigger rift between those who believe in vaccination and those who don't believe in vaccination. And that's not going to solve the problem. Yes, when you mentioned that, okay, and when we talked about how critical it is to get vaccinated, that's true at this point in time. Okay, facts is facts. We're going to come back and say that, okay, yes, you need to get vaccinated now to protect yourself from COVID-19. And it's good to get vaccinated from diseases where we do not have a cure for. So things like, polio, tetanus, rubella, and things like that, where prevention is much better than cure. Down the line, and it's already been experimented, right? There are some pills that are going to work in curing COVID-19, because essentially it is, I don't want to say it is just a flu, but essentially it is a flu, right? So there will be medicine that you can take to treat COVID-19. But at the same time, right now we don't wait, right? I mean, vaccination is important. So where do we stand, right? I mean, what do you think about what the government is doing, or what should we do to anti-vaxxers, or what should we do to solve the problem of anti-vaxxers?
Okay, I think first, I just want to make it clear that it's not right to say that everyone who doesn't take the vaccine are anti-vaxxers. I will call them, I think the right term is vaccine hesitant. So basically, they're hesitant of taking the vaccine, and it could be for various reasons. One could be out of fear, like I'm not sure what is this vaccine all about. I'm not too sure. I'm not confident, so I'm not going to take the vaccine. That's fine, because in Malaysia, I think worldwide, including Malaysia, COVID-19 vaccines are not mandatory. It's totally voluntary. You only go for it if you're sure you're okay with getting the vaccination. So that's one thing I want to make it clear. So people have all kinds of reasons to be hesitant about the vaccine. Some of them could be having medical conditions. So some could be, let's say, okay, they have past history of allergies of different types of vaccines. And after they go through that, they feel like, I don't want to put myself through this kind of harrowing experience, so I don't get vaccinated. They could be having, they might believe that vaccines are effective, but they just feel like it's not for them. So that's one of the reasons why. Some of them could be unsure. They could be confused by various information they receive. They hear one side saying, okay, it's good. Another story from another side say, oh, vaccines are bad. They have caused death and severe side effects, and that's why they're on the fence. So they refuse to take the vaccine. And the most extreme one would be, I think that's what people could refer to as anti-vaxxers. They come with this hard belief that, okay, vaccines are bad. They're created by the New World Order. There's some conspiracy. They're using it to track you with 5G technology and all that stuff. Those kind of anti-science movement. So that's the most extreme part. That's anti-vaxxers. So I think you're right to say that, labeling a group like that is going to create a further divide. It's like, us versus them.
Yep.
Yeah. But of course, the crucial part is how, okay, I think in terms of the spectrum, right, the vaccine hesitant is something that we can address. I think that's where, through education, more information, engagement to address the concerns. And if they decide not to get vaccinated, it's fine. Because as long as you make the decision based on the right facts.
And you don't spread
misinformation.
Yeah.
The trouble with anti-vaxxers is that some of them go to this anti-science route. They spread misinformation. The worst one was that, I think earlier on, there are some individuals who unknowingly share information that, someone died to the vaccine, or someone, had suffered a cardiac arrest or severe side effect after vaccination. Some of them might be true because vaccines are not 100% effective. Some of them might have severe side effects. That's why we also record the adverse effects following immunization. So the government has been very open about that. But some of them still insist, the government's hiding the deaths, the government's hiding the side effects, which is not true because those have been declared. Even the government has published the information on GitHub. It's all clearly written there. It's all open. Even the deaths due to COVID-19 are all published in the line-by-line data. And yet they go spreading this information. Oh, there's actually more deaths than what you've seen right now. And then these are the dangerous part, because these people with this misinformation will affect the vaccine hesitant people. So that's dangerous. So I think that's what KD is referring to.
Yeah, and I agree, and those are really good points because, from before when we had this discussion, before when we were preparing for the show, I had kind of like a binary view of this anti-vaccine problem. It's either you believe in it or you are. It's either you are somebody that is pro-vaccine or somebody that's anti-vaccine. I don't see the gray area in the middle, and this gray area in the middle is huge because within that you have people who feel that I need to do this. It is my responsibility to make sure that my society is safe, my family is safe, my kids are safe. I want to do this, but I'm scared. I'm hesitant. And I want to listen to both sides. I want to listen to why the anti-vaxxers don't want to do it. They might have some very compelling reasons. They might. I mean, for whatever choice, right? We're not going to judge you that way, but and then they're gonna make that decision, right? That's fine. The issue is, and this is where it get messy. Yes, anti-vaxxers are there. Number one, labeling them, like you said, right? I don't think it's right. It creates a chasm. It's like calling somebody a terrorist. That person probably has their own belief, and they believe that belief is true. And then we have people who are deliberately spreading this fake news and misinformation and disinformation. So misinformation is something that's wrong, that you didn't know that was wrong, that you spread it.
You just share on WhatsApp.
Yeah. So that's misinformation because you didn't check the facts. Disinformation is deliberately creating something that is fake and spreading it out. In the realm of this gray area between the pro-vaxxers and anti-vaxxers is this huge universe of misinformation and disinformation. And the problem is, what's going to happen is people who are caught out in the middle, who are the hesitant people, are the ones that are going to, we don't know whether they are likely going to jump to being an anti-vaxxer, or they're going to go like, okay, you know what, I don't believe in all that, and I'm gonna do this. And the problem is with what the government is doing is that they are nudging these hesitant people towards the anti-vaccine side. Because for the anti-vaxxers, for the people who are creating the fake news and the disinformation, what they're going to say is like this. It's like recruitment for
Terrorism.
For ISIS.
Okay.
I mean, they recruit people who are non-Muslims, who are
Lost.
right? They go like, bro, are you okay? How do you feel in your life? Are you doing anything? Come to ISIS, come to heaven. I give you 30 wives. I make you a hero. You're gonna be a champion. But and then they shut down the normal society. They go like, the society has forsaken me. ISIS is taking me. ISIS listens to me.
And also,
I sound like an ISIS recruiter now.
Disclaimer: we are not.
No, no, we're not.
And also, like you're right. So also the way the communication been done, right? It gives them ammo. Like you see, how they are going against us.
Yes.
That means they fear us. They are scared of something.
Yes.
They know we know something,
Exactly.
and then they know that. See, we're the cool kids right now because they're going against us. It's us against the world.
I'm not sure whether they're gonna say like we're the cool kids are, because if I'm like a recruiter, they're gonna like, I'm gonna go like, nah. What they're gonna say is like, it's messed up because they start mixing religion, they start mixing mythology and
pseudoscience,
and all that stuff right into this like really messy goop and feed it to these hesitant people, and they go like, I kind of like this.
It looks like you got a point.
So
that's concern.
So and you're right? So for the anti-vaxxer, they're gonna go to the hesitant people, like, or even go to the people who have already been vaccinated. They're gonna go like, bro, remember that time I told you? You know why? Now they are all out to fight us because we're legit, right? Because they know something and they're not telling you, and that's why they're fighting, and that's why they're making all these stories and making life difficult. I tell you, you should have joined us.
And then they say, why are we suddenly we are enemy number one? There are other better things to deal with. Why you want to target us?
There's a lot of other problems in the world. There's money problems,
corruption,
whatever, right? But they're focusing on us. There must be a reason. You know how it can be such a compelling argument.
Yep.
And I don't know. So when we discussed and we wanted to start the show, my point of contention was, did KJ do the right thing by making all these statements, and kind of like lighting the flame of the anti-vaxxers?
I think it was unintentional because I think if you look back to the past few weeks, right, I think he's in a way on a crusade against misinformation, because what happened was that there's a lot of rumors or speculation that can hamper the teenage vaccination. Because remember right now, right, as of recording, we have like 94% of adults being vaccinated.
Yep.
Total population, 70%, more than 70% of total population have been vaccinated.
Yep.
So the goal right now is to vaccinate as many people as possible. I think he's mentioned before that he wants to target 80% or maybe 90%, as many people as possible. And the last part, right, the last 30% is dependent on people who are hesitant, especially on the teenage vaccinations. So if, let's say, this information, misinformation sabotage its effect, then we might not reach that goal. So that's a huge concern.
Yeah, well, okay. So I guess we gotta ask ourselves like whether 100% vaccination rate is something realistic to chase. Yes, and I do agree. We have to get as many people vaccinated as possible. Then the question is whether 80% is enough or 90% is enough, because then the anti-vaxxers is gonna come. I remember that time. First they say 75% is enough for herd immunity. Now they're saying 85, 90%. Now 100%. They always change. We never change. They go like, my pseudoscience is correct.
Yep.
I mean,
they always get away. They can have that last say.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. As much as I like,
I mean, that's science, right? I mean, COVID is a new thing, and we learn as we go along.
Yeah. No, what I want to say is like, okay, KJ is, okay, he's done some things that are right, and he's a pretty smart guy. So I would think that anything that he does on social media is measured. Anything that he does on social media is strategized, and there's no knee jerk, or there's no bum typing or drunk dialing or whatever it is when it comes to KJ. Or any of the ministers for that matter, right? I think everything that's posted on social media has been architected, is that a word? Has been engineered to create a reaction.
I guess it's like a final nudge. I guess he wants to get the rest of society to push the rest, to go against these anti-vaxxers. I get a feeling maybe that's the strategy.
I believe in that intent, yes, but I don't believe in the method to achieve that intent. Because what he's saying with all these things is just splitting us against them.
Okay, going back to his message, right? What he mentioned is not basically like, okay, we're going to make your life like a living hell. So basically, if you listen to the whole speech, right? So basically, he said that, for those who can't get vaccinated, there are two things here. So number one, for those who can't get vaccinated due to health reasons, you can get your freedom, because it's all about reopening safely. So those people who can't get vaccinated due to health reasons, like you have allergies, there is actually a vaccine exemption certificate. So you still can travel interstate if you have the exemption, because you can't get vaccinated. But for those who can get vaccinated but refuse to get vaccinated, eventually you can't stay at home all the time. How long can you lock them down? Eventually they need to go out. So one of the things he mentioned is that probably they will be able to get their freedoms back, but they must require to go undergo regular testing once a week at their own cost.
Okay,
so that's an option. So basically, to make it clear, the authorities are not going to force everyone to get vaccinated. It's still voluntarily, but if you want to live freely, this is what you have to go through.
Yeah, okay. So I agree with that. And yeah, I've listened to the speech as well. It's like, okay, they will. You have to get regular testing every 2 weeks or something.
He say every week. It's going. I think by the time this video's out, the plan should be out, because they're going to have a national testing plan for it. Yeah.
So they want to create a plan, and we cannot discount that maybe there are some parts of these people. We don't know the number of the people that's in this anti-vaxxer camp, right? And we don't know what kind of impact they have or influence they have in the economy, in society, in culture, in we don't know, right? And it's correct to say that we want to open this up, but things are going to be difficult. But to say we will make life difficult for you suggests to me something completely different from what he said. He could say things like, to those who still are hesitant, he could refuse to use the word anti-vaxxer to legitimize them. He could say, for those who are still hesitant with regards to vaccination, we're going to open a dialogue. There's like a consulting call center that you can call in to ask all sorts of questions until you become satisfied. But for those of you who are hesitant, as we open up and as things become normal, it might be challenging for you.
Okay, here's the thing. If he didn't say that, right, do you think the media would pick up the news?
I believe so. Okay.
I got a feeling it's done intentionally to get the message across sternly, so that...
Yeah, I guess. But there are other ways to do that, lah.
I think he calculated his risk.
Or like he can say like life can be challenging. No, for me it's it's not okay, it's the sequence of the words. We will make life difficult for you. It suggests intent from him to say that I will purposely make this difficult for you. Yeah. That is the problem.
Yeah, but that's not what he meant actually.
Yeah, that's the problem. But the thing is, anti-vaxxers, they go like, you see what KJ say? The fella is not gonna go and say, no lah bro, he said like this. The fella the guy that is being preached about this probably wouldn't even see the video. Right? And if he tries to argue and say, no lah, I heard the KJ thing, he actually said this. No lah, that's all the belakang cerita lah. The front thing, his intent is just gonna make it difficult for you. You better watch out lah,
I guess that's his last resort because, like what he said, right, it comes to the point that, even some of the politicians are trying to make it political, like, you shouldn't do this, you should educate, create awareness. I think we've gone through the awareness phase, we've gone through the education phase, we've gone through the debunking phase. Like, what else can we do to convince these people? So this is the final in the coffin. Okay, if you don't want to get vaccinated, fine, life's gonna be tough for you.
No, there are many other ways to skin this cat. I agree with you. The politicians, right? I think they can just don't kacau lah. If they're not helping and they're just commenting, please just keep quiet, right? So this problem is not unique to Malaysia. This problem is not unique to Asia. This problem is a global problem. There are anti-vaxxers in the US. There are anti-vaxxers in the most advanced countries in the world. There are people who still believe the earth is flat. And these people live in the country where the country led the space race, So sociologists, psychologists, people who study all these things have done all the research and have done all the studies, and the best way to fight this is not to fight fire with fire. The best way to fight this is not to go with facts versus facts, because it's like you having a discussion in a mama. You will never agree if you have two varying points. It could be about Honda and Mitsubishi. It could be how much power a VTEC produces over a turbo car. It could be over whether durian is better than rambutan or teh tarik is better than Milo. When it comes to those arguments, it's no longer about the facts.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I think the reason why he's daring enough to say that, right, is because I think the situation in Malaysia is not as bad as other countries. Because, if you look at the vaccination rate right now, right, more than 70% of the population have been fully vaccinated with either a single or second dose vaccines.
Yep.
Actually, we're far ahead than most of them already catching.
Yep.
We are far ahead compared to Japan, which has fully vaccinated like 67% of population at time recording. UK is like 66%. Germany is at 65%. South Korea is at 66%. And the US is at 57%. So I guess he's confident that, this is my last stop ready to convince these people who are hesitant.
No, for me, it's a huge gamble, because with all those facts that you mentioned, right, already we're leading. We don't have to be so extremist in terms of handling these anti-vaxxers. I don't like the word awareness, and all the other politicians that have been coming out to say, we need to create more awareness and whatever, right? I think people are aware.
Yeah, we've really gone through that.
I think you can ask anybody. You can ask anybody in the kampung or whatever, right? They are aware about the situation, about vaccination, COVID-19.
Yeah.
I think they are aware. Creating awareness is not the problem. Lack of awareness is not the problem. It is now a matter of emotions and belief and choice.
Yep.
And choice. So how do we solve this problem? Maybe you gotta ask, okay, I mean, how do we solve the problem? You're so smart. Okay lah, you become the minister and tell me how to do it lah. Okay, I'm up for that. No, what I'm trying to say, okay. What I mean is, I'm not a person to go out and say, okay, you should do this and you should do this, and we don't think of like what is the solution. If it was me, what should I do? Like, okay, if the politician say, like, if Anwar says, we need to create more awareness, and then I ask, okay, how do you create more awareness?
give flyers.
I don't know lah. That's not my problem. The government should do something about it lah. That's not what I want to do. Okay, so for me, it's like if I was the minister and I'm supposed to suggest a solution to this, right? We need to open more dialogues. We need to open like more discussions about like people who are hesitant. It's like, I want, but I'm hesitant. Or, I want, but, my mother is an anti-vaxxer. And my mother said, if I take vaccine, she's going to disown me.
Or divorce some
Yeah.
spouses,
My husband is an anti-vaxxer and I want. But if so how do we need to bring these people into our fold? Again, it's like religion. You need to be the Jesus, you need to be the Muhammad. And Muhammad doesn't go out and say like, screw the infidels, we're gonna kill them all. It's like, God has a plan for you, blah 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 blah. One day you will see the light of God. And eventually that person does, It is like that. And for me, figureheads like KJ, where not everybody, a lot of people look up to him. I'm sure there are a bunch, and if you say this is a gamble, right? He is excluding the anti-vaxxer group who probably likes him. I'm sure there are people within that camp that go like, KJ is really good. And then he goes out and say, anti-vaxxers, we will make life difficult for you. It's like, okay, we're out. And then that just alienates everybody and go like, okay, we're going to listen to the next guy that believes in us. And it could be, for the lack of a better candidate, Ahmad Maslan or Adham Baba. I don't know,
But I think most of them are on board that, are pro-vaccines anyway. So
yeah, but you.
But for me, is these groups, right? They're so engrossed in their belief, right? I think it's hard to shake them off.
No,
until someone close to them passes away, because I think that's the only way to convince them to get a vaccine. I think that's the only solution right now, because I think the government has done a lot of effort.
Sure.
Like, for example, showing how's the situation like in ICU. If you don't get vaccinated, you get a severe outcome of COVID. This is going to happen. You're going to get intubated. Intubated. And then if you go to the final minutes, right, your family can be close to you. Even the funeral, your family can't even touch you.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with that. Then we come back to this big universe of the gray area, right? So people who are lost, right? Again, the connotation, the parallels to religion is very clear here. Those who are lost, those who are hesitant, then they see, oh, my mother or my kid or my brother died because they didn't take a vaccine. And then they're like, that's when they're the most vulnerable. And for the vaccine people, the likelihood of them going like, that's why lah, you didn't take the vaccine, you're gonna die, you're gonna be next, blah blah blah. And then the anti-vaxxer is like, don't be sad, this is penentuan, this is fate, come to us. Anti-vax, we have all the organic solutions. Vaccine is not the. Where would you go? You go to the people who listen.
Yeah, in a way, you got a point that for those who are lost, they will go. That sounds like, okay, that's a voice of reason. At least they're supporting me.
Yeah.
Versus
that's how Asia works. Those of you who know Asia Works, put it down in the comments below. Somebody tried to recruit me and join Asia Works. Okay. Do you know what Asia Works is? Okay, you better do the research on Google that. If anybody comes to you and say, "Are you happy with your life?" That is the opening line. Are you happy with your life? You just walk away, dude. Just walk away. Walk away. Okay, so I've presented my solution. I feel that engagement and bringing these people into the fold is the way to go. Labeling is not the way to go. Pointing fingers is not the way to go. Saying people who are anti-vaxxers is not the way to go. I want to talk about the big grey universe, right? So that grey universe, the biggest problem is the disinformation, the misinformation. And I think KJ is smart enough, the comms minister is smart enough as well to separate these two.
Yeah, because I think for those who are hesitant, right, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to raise issues. It's okay to question data. But spreading misinformation, things that's not wrong, things that's not right, telling lies, that's completely different. That's something that's supposed to be, should be tackled. Yeah. So I think that's the true intention. But he tried to address the problem with the whole sledgehammer.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, again, it's not smart lah, like you said, right? So if we're leading, we don't need to be so shotgun about it, so sledgehammer about it. We can use a scalpel, since he's the Minister of Health anyway, And what did I want to say? Right. So labeling, right? You. I think for a start, we should stop using the word anti-vaxxers.
Yeah.
We should start saying, if you're hesitant, or if you're concerned, it's like how we, like OKU people, right? We tell everybody, hey, don't call them OKU lah. Orang kurang upaya. By default, you're already like labeling them. You should call them orang kelainan upaya.
Or like people with mental issues, don't call them crazy.
Yeah.
You don't use those kind of words.
Yes, you don't, because you label them, right? It's the same thing here. And we don't have the data, but in this universe, there could be people who are more hesitant rather than outright, what's this?
Pro-science.
No. There are more people who are hesitant rather than outright anti-vaxxers.
Yep.
Right? So you want to win the people who are in the middle, not the people who are on the far right or far left. You want to win the people who are in the middle. And to win the people in the middle, you got to find that middle ground. It's like you go like people who are, in America, Waco lah, all this cult. The Waco incident, I forgot what's the fullest name. In Malaysia, not Al-Qaeda, there's another Islamist-based cult. I don't want to call him Muslim. I think
it's just ajaran sesat lah.
Yeah, ajaran sesat, right?
Yep.
They are professionals, they are rich people, they are people who are lost, who believe in all that. They believe because something what these people say makes sense. But these people have agenda. These cult leaders, we know you can look at the FBI research, you can look from the CIA research, you can do a case study of all the people who are doing this. It's like serial killers, right? They have a pattern. Cultists have patterns too. They have an agenda. You can watch Netflix. I think there's a show on cults as well. They have an agenda, and it's the people who are lost and who are pure and who are open to listen to this. They are the real victims. It's not KJ. It's not us who are already vaccinated. So we and the government and KJ and whoever else is involved need to one up and be better. Not one up in terms like, okay, let's call anti-vaxxers liars. You don't do that. That's not the one up that we're looking for. The one up that we're looking for is like, okay, let's be better.
Let's encourage rather than to penalize.
Yeah. And point fingers.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. That's time for me to remind you guys that we are also available on podcast. So if you want to listen to us, to this amazing discussion that we just had today, just look for Let's Talk About on any of your favorite podcast platforms. So just look for Let's Talk About Sai Jin Chow. If you're listening to us on podcast, we would like to hear your voice notes. So send them over to, what's the email address again?
Let's Talk About at soychinchow.com.
Okay, send them over to Let's Talk About. Send a voice note to Let's Talk About at soychinchow.com. And if it's interesting, we'll post it on the next show. At the same time, we are also available on YouTube. So to our YouTube viewers, thank you very much for watching the show. I hope it's been informative or insightful, mind-opening for you guys. Let us know what you think. What do you think of anti-vaxxers? What do you think of how we're handling them? Can it be better? Are you one of them? Share your thoughts on why you believe in why anti-vax, not having vaccination is dangerous. I mean, I'm not joking. I'm not being sarcastic or whatever. I'm just really opening up and trying to understand what's going on, right? Give us a thumbs up if you like the show. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And yeah, your comments and suggestions, that really means a lot to us. Anything else you want to add, Alex?
That's about it.
And that's pretty much it. This is me, Amin.
And this is Alex.
Catch you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.